Today is the 6th of February 2024. Okay, and this will be our 47th video on some possible questions that can come in your exams. Okay, thank you to our new subscribers and to everyone that has subscribed to our channel. Please, if you haven't considered it already, I will appreciate it if you subscribe. Okay, and if you like our videos, share, like, follow. Okay, I've seen the comments. They are nice, good comments. Okay, and I will reply. Okay, and I'm really learning about this technology stuff, so I would with time things will change. Okay, but somebody was talking about landscape or something. I'll find out about what that is. If that helps you learn better, I'm happy to do it. Okay, as long as it will help a group of people learn better, okay, and understand what I'm trying to bring to you. Okay, and if the account is not yours, please, okay, today's day and age, ask permission. Don't put something on somebody else's account and put them into trouble. You can open your own account and subscribe. When I upload, you get your own notification, you get your own video, you watch it. Okay, in the comment section you normally follow, say please follow my notes/script. So for instance, today's question is angles. So it's about angles. So this is 80 degrees as in angles, not as in temperature. Okay, so if you hear A equals 80, I mean 80 degrees. Okay, don't go and write answers without your unit. When the unit is required, you have to add it to it. You don't want to be losing unnecessary marks. Okay, beware of scammers, please, beware. Okay, please watch last video for recap. It's a very good video. Okay, I've brought a few examples of those past papers in the starter, which will help us answer the question we are going to look at today. So the video before this one, yesterday's own, sorry, this is a higher non-calculator paper. So we saw that the angle at the circumference will be twice the angle at the center. So if that angle at the circumference is 40, then the angle at the center A here will be 80. So if they ask you to find A is 80. It's a non-calculator paper. You are not allowed to use the calculator. So they are going to give you numbers that you can easily add and subtract and multiply. Okay, so just be cautious of that. Now this also a higher non-calculator paper, our second example. Okay, if they've given you this angle 142, okay, so half of that straight away is 71. So this angle B, they said find B is 71. Okay, Now our third one, angle in a quadrilateral. Okay, and they're asking us to find C. This is our C here. Okay, so if that is 81, 180 minus 81 should be equal to C, because both of them are the circumference and they fit in the circle, and the angle in a quad, okay, opposite, should add up to 180. So 180 minus 81 will be 99 degrees. So C here is 99 degrees. Okay, and normally underline my answers. Now today we are going to use that knowledge which we use. Okay, these are exam papers. So what happened was there's an A, B, which you use this knowledge, and the other one, this one, angle at the circumference, and then the C part now, which is the same question, was this. So you can see that straight away this is the question. So if this angle is 130, then that angle here will be 80, because if no, it will be 50. Okay, because if you add 50 to 130, you are going to get 180. So if this angle is 50, that will be 100. So I broke it down step by step. So they said find this angle X here, and then they made an assumption and said OBC. So OBC, that angle here, equals O here BC, that angle here. So if I know this angle and that angle, and I add them together, I'll take it out of 360, and whatever I get, I divide by 2, and that'll be this angle and this angle. Okay, so I'll show you how I solved it. Okay, I'll show you step by step. But in the exam, if you understand, because it's a continuation of the starter questions or the questions we did yesterday. Okay, so if you understand that properly, then you can apply that, because look at it. This one here is the first part of the question. This quad here is the second. So they've merged two questions. Now they are asking you to find X. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, at a glance at first, you think it's so complicated, but it's not. Okay, so I'm going to be going forth the question back and forth. Okay, so X is here, the X you are finding. Sorry. Okay, yeah. This is your question here. Okay, and that angle here is equal to the angle they've told you in the question. Okay, so I'll show you. First step. Okay, so now look at, this is what they've given you. Okay, this is what they've given you. They've only given you this. Okay, so what I said to you was opposite angles. This is 130. Okay, so they've given you that. And they've given you this one here. Okay, Now opposite angles. So 1 minute. Okay. So they've given you this. So we'll start from the beginning. So if this is 130, okay, 130 add 50, okay, will give you 180, as I started explaining. So straight away we found this angle and we found that angle. That is our first step. That is what we know, okay, from what we've been given. Okay, so this is what we know at the minute. That is our first step. Now our second step, okay, now we know that this is 50 and this is 130, because if you add 50 to 130 you are going to get 180. Okay, but from what we've been doing yesterday, okay, angle at the circumference and at the center. So if that is 50, then that will be 100. So now we know this angle, we know that angle, and we know that angle from the question we've been given. Okay, now our next step, if angle, this angle here is 100, angle at the point, okay, is 360. So if this is 100, then the whole of this is 260, that one. So here we go. So now we know 50, that is 100, and that is 130, and that is 260. Okay, now again, so this is where we are now. So now we found 4 angles. Okay, now in the question, we've been told, so we know 50, we know 100, we know 130, and we know 100. Okay, but we've also been told that this angle here, okay, in the question here, OBC equals ODC. So if we consider this quadrilateral here, okay, we know this is 50 and this is 130. So if we add them together, that will be 180. Okay, now this angle here is 105. Okay, so to get this angle here, okay, will also be 180 minus 105. So this whole angle here will be 75. Okay, so now this angle here is 75. Okay, that angle here is 75. But in the question, they said to us OBC equals ODC. Okay, now in the question we are told this angle is 105. So now if we know this angle here and we know this 130, okay, now we can, when we know this, all these angles, we can find, we know this one as well. Okay, so how do we find this small angle? Okay, we know this is 75 because 100 plus 105, sorry, okay, thank you. So 50 plus 105 plus 130 will give us 285. If we take 285 from 360, that angle here is 75. Okay, now 360, okay, 360 minus, if you add this angle to this angle, you get 230. We know this and this are equal. So 230 minus 360 will give us 130 here. Okay, that 130 divided by 2. So this will be 65 and that will be 65. Okay, so this whole angle is 105, but the question says this angle here and that angle here is 65. Okay, so if this angle is 65 and that angle, because we add them together and we divide by 2 to get the 65 here. Okay, so 360, 100 and 130, which is 230, so minus 230 divide by 2 will give us 65 here and 65 here. Okay, so we've got that, but we know that if this is 105, then that will be 75, because again, angle in a quadrilateral. So to get 180, the whole of this angle should be 75. So if this is 65, then straight away that will be 10. Okay, so this is what I did. Okay, so from here I have just talked you through to get the x, which is 10. So this is the question we've been given. We know this angle and we know this angle. So all we've learned from yesterday, and the question started with the angle, with the question that gave you an angle at the circumference and the center, and then it went on to give you a question with the angle in a quadrilateral, and then it went on and merged those two together to ask you to find x. Okay, so all you have to do is to use your previous knowledge to find that. So look at it again. They've given you 130 here. Okay, so to get these two opposite angles, you are going to add them to 180. So if this is 180, straight away from the question you did earlier, that will be 50. Then if this is 50, that will be 100. Okay, and then now you've got 3 angles. Okay, so now you've got these 3 angles. but they said this is 105. So this is a quadrilateral. So you add 50 to 180 to 105 to get this angle here, which is 75. The whole of this angle is 75. Okay. Now, if this angle is 100, the angle at the point here is 260, because to make a full circle, 100 plus 260 will give you 360 there. Okay, so now we found 4. We know this angle as 105. Now, I've told you that they've told us that that angle here equals this angle here. Okay, so now if this angle here equals that angle here, all I have to do is add 130 to 100, which will be 230, subtract from 360. So now I'm going to get 360 minus 230, which will give me 65. So these two angles here is 65, because they said angle OBC, that is OBC equals ODP, is in the question here. Okay, the angle, so this angle here and that. So if this is 75, that is 75. So after finding that, so I know the whole of this angle is 75, because if this is 105, I add 75 and I get 180. Okay, to 105 I get 180. So now that I know the whole of this is 75, okay, this is 65, because this small angle and this small angle are equal. 75 minus 65, x will be 10. So our x is 10. Okay, this is about 6 to 7 marks. If you look at the past papers for the last 15 years, these questions always come. Angles, graph work, probability, algebra. I can't stress it enough. So, and most of the time, they'll give you a question which you have to use to solve another one. Okay, so please don't just look at the question and say, oh, I'll leave it, I can't do it. Okay, so guess by what the questions that we used yesterday, which was the A and B part, we can solve this question here. Okay, that is how the question came, and this is all what we had to rate. So now we solve it and we found x. Okay, with everything I've talked you through. So x now is 10. So I'm just going to go back and show you, pause. So this is the diagram here. That is the question. Okay, that is the question here. Okay, that is my first step. That is my first step. Okay. There. That is my second step. So you see that I've redrawn it and I've fitted in the point. Okay, and that is what I have with it. That is my my third step, which I've already explained. And that is my fifth step. Okay. No, that's not that was my first step. Where is my paper? So that's my fourth step there. Okay. And this is what I did. And that is my fifth step, to find X. And that is how I found this. Okay. Which I've already talked you through. Okay. So these questions, you can't go wrong if you learn it step by step. And if you learn it properly, because you know these questions are going to come anyway. If you look at the past papers, and these are figures that you don't need a calculator to work out. Just applying what you know, okay, you'll be able to get your X as 10. Okay, and you don't have to do all that, but you can just do it on your answer sheet. It says show working. So you just write, oh, angle at the point, angle on the circumference, angle at the center, angle in a quadrilateral. Okay, and then Samina will be happy with you. She'll give you all the 6 or 7 marks for that question, and that will boost you a lot. Okay, please, thank you for all the comments. I'll reply. Please, if I'll appreciate it if you subscribe. Okay, and it will encourage me as well. Okay, and share it with your friends, especially if you know they are going to take an exam soon. Even if you are not going to take an exam, it will help them. I trust me. Thank you, and beware of scammers, please. Don't be scammed. Thank you so much for joining me in today's lesson. I'll see you in the next.